Get to them in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. No, but when you're talking about the offensive linemen, I was talking to a couple of linemen after the game who were, you said you liked all the calls, all the holding calls. I don't know. I wasn't looking at
I thought every call on both teams, obviously the Browns had more calls against them. I thought they were all correct calls.
The linemen were frustrated. The linemen were frustrated after the game because they felt like the best way to attack the Bengals is run right at their ass. And with the holding calls the way that they were, now you got guys in their heads thinking, well, I can't get another 10 for this. So it changes the way that they're feeling like, what can I do, and what it gets in their head with some, and they felt like the officials were trying to control the game.
If you're freaking holding, you're holding. All right, that's what it is. I'm gonna tell you this. Here's the story. Why do I have to explain to you where your holes are? You're a professional. You know you soft up front, right? You know it. We've been talking about it all season. Why don't you know it?
Oh, they know it.
They know it. There's nothing to do now.
But to what you guys were just saying about the defensive tackles, I've said for a month, just get NFL caliber defensive tackles, and it's going to fix so much of what we're talking about.
So what is preventing that?
Well, there's none to go get. There's none to go get.
You have to do something.
It's December. It's December.
No, we've been talking about this for months.
Yeah, but you were never going to get Ndamukong Suh. He wasn't going to come here.
Get somebody.
Well, they did. They got the guy from Miami. They picked him up off the practice squad, and Tommy Togiai has been inactive ever since. That's how pitiful their tackles have been.
I think, to Jason's point, these guys don't fall out of trees. They don't. The talent has been recognized. The problem goes back to the construction of this team.
Yeah, they blew it in their analysis of defensive tackle.
And that is, I think, one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah.
And it's funny. We've got arrows pointing at everybody now. We're talking about Watson, Stefanski. Now it's going to Andrew Berry. But another thing I think most Browns fans can honestly agree to, the construction of this roster was flawed from training.
Ain't even flawed.
It was just flawed.
I'd call it piss poor. You got a baseball guy up there picking players. Let's be clear about it. Let's be clear about it. That fourth down that we're going to get into, that screams of a baseball guy.
You mean the one that I turned the TV off?
You got, who tells us they're playing at linebacker was trash. They're playing at defensive tackle was trash. They're playing at receiver was trash.
All right, now hang on. They've been shredded with injuries.
I don't agree with your receiver. I agree with the other.
They've been shredded with injuries at linebacker. Defensive tackle, there's no excuse. Yeah. They're terrible.
They're not good enough. I agree with G on linebacker. I don't agree on wide receiver.
Taki was playing great before he got hurt. When they moved him to middle, he was playing some of the best football of his career. He was.
Great.
He at middle linebacker, he was much better.
He was
great for him. Listen.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, listen. But it was an improvement. He was an NFL caliber middle linebacker when he was in the middle. And obviously Anthony Walker went down early.
Go back even to Walker before that.
Walker went down early.
When AWOL goes down, that was the heartbeat of the defense.
You got listen.
It was.
Gee, here's the other thing. If we're gonna say it's a baseball guy, it's a this and it's a that. Yeah. Well, we were all saying they were very talented going into the season, were we not?
They are at certain positions, and I could do two things at once.
Well,
and I said the defensive tackles was terrible too.
You did. But besides defensive tackle, I think most, and maybe wide receiver, which is proven to be wrong because Donovan Peoples-Jones has become a legit number 2 wide receiver.
I wasn't wrong at wide receiver. You know why?
Yeah.
Because when you take a look at other teams and you take a look what Deshaun Watson does best, he throws the deep ball well. You banked on Anthony Schwartz being your deep guy. They have no speed.
Well,
they don't threaten me anywhere.
Yes, you're right about that. They do need to get a speed guy. However, Donovan Peoples-Jones has established himself as a legit starter lately.
Underneath.
No doubt.
No, he's been their best deep threat.
But that ain't saying much.
They weren't trying to throw deep. They're not trying to throw deep.
Well, they should.
Hold on, let me say.
Well, they want him to get his feet under him a little bit
Donovan Peoples-Jones has been a legitimate best deep threat. That don't make you no star.
That's crazy.
There's a difference.
No, he's not a star, but
there's a difference.
He is a legitimate number 2
so here,
right
let me tell you.
And he should have made that catch in the end zone.
He should have made the catch.
I don't know why he let it come to him.
I know.
Plenty of times this year,
I like the way he's played, but I'm just telling you that here, if I got Cooper, the superior route runner, right?
You need a deep threat.
I need a deep, serious guy on the other side, right? I still could have Donovan Peoples-Jones on the team. He still
Agreed.
He can still do good things, but he's not that guy. Let's not say that.
Yeah, we understand they need one more receiver, and they did get it wrong with Anthony Schwartz. But overall, receivers in decent shape. I mean, it's not like they're in bad shape at wide receiver.
But let me ask,
it's not like defensive tackle or line. You're not going to be perfect everywhere.
I go back to this. Who is calling the shots? Because I told you in August, Anthony Schwartz was worth nothing. You're wasting your time.
Okay, but there's a guy worth nothing on every roster. I mean,
you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You got Schwartz here. The D-line problem was obvious back then, too. The linebacker problem was there, too. Who is doing this? Who is constructing this team?
And let's be clear. When we speaking from a level of we just want the Cleveland Browns to be solid. I don't give a damn about solid. When you go look at these other rosters, you telling me we play Miami, they got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and you selling me DPJ underneath?
But you're making it seem like they're.
Hold on.
I'm not comparing them to Miami. You're right. They're behind some of these other teams. But let's not make it seem like they got the worst roster in the NFL.
But
they're a mediocre roster right now.
I compare the rosters to the top-notch people. If you look at the Bengals, how good are the Bengals where Tyler Boyd don't play, T. Higgins ain't playing, and Jamar Chase is killing you. And they're starting, and you tell them, and you keep selling me DPJ.
Yeah, but
they
wait
got
a second.
talent that can wreck your squad with one guy.
Hold on, G. Listen, once those guys went out, Joe Burrow makes those other guys better. And eventually, Watson will do that too. Right now, he's not, or I assume Watson will do that too eventually.
What you just named.
The other two receivers that played for the Bengals, Taylor and...
are not good.
What's his name? I can't
Thor
remember
of
his name now.
Ragnarok.
Trent Irvin.
Thor.
Yeah, those guys are nothing players.
And Loki.
Those guys are nothing players that Burrow makes better.
So this is
that flea flicker. I mean, he was wide open, Trent Irwin.
So you telling me at 3 levels,
yeah,
their backups are better than your starters. They don't need their starters to come out here and do anything. And if they did have their starters, they would smoke you. And even when they didn't have the receivers, you didn't have the wherewithal to double their best receiver, and he still got 20 targets.
By the way, that was one of the most egregious things I've ever seen by the Browns this year. To not double-team Chase when he's the only real threat in the passing game.
That's what I want to go to now.
Corner in the league. Guys, there is no corner in the league that can consistently stop Chase.
And that's what I want to turn to.
Go back to that. Go back to that graphic. McNuggets.
Jason,
here, look at this graphic. Look at this graphic.
Talk to him, Jason.
Let me tell you what happened. He met the challenge yesterday. He threw a card down in preseason.
I'm better than everybody you got.
I'm better than everybody you got. He came to the table yesterday. I have to tip my hat to you because he was like, I'm here.
He's a dog.
I'm here. And I tell you who else answered the bell yesterday for the Bengals? Von Bell looked at DPJ like, you a Michigan dude. Yeah. I'm coming to get you. I saw him in his grill all day yesterday. All day he was in his grill.
DPJ had a pretty good game yesterday.
Listen, Von Bell was hitting him like nobody's business.
He was physical.
Yes, he was.
But DPJ got his.
Cooper.
No, DPJ had more yards than Chase for the record.
Cooper's also hurt.
I know.
So
here's what I want to talk about because as I'm watching the game, first of all, before the game started, and you know the inactives. I mean, I figured that Higgins wasn't going to play, and do you need something?
Are we moving off the Chase thing? Because if we are, I know Jason had a nugget.
No, we're going to Chase.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I want to dive in deeper on that.
Why? Well, the assumption was Higgins was going to play. He had it.
When he didn't start the game.
He tweaked it in pregame.
Yeah,
he
and when he didn't start the game, rarely do guys get better from 1 till 4 o'clock.
Right.
So when
and then Boyd gets hurt on the second play.
Right. So right away, I'm saying, okay, we just neutralized their best player because we don't have anybody else to worry about.
Right.
All of their big pass catching threats were off the field.
Their second, third, and fourth best pass catchers
were
all gone.
So you've got one guy. Okay. And I immediately said, okay, now we're going to bracket, we're going to double team.
Chase.
And he's basically, you're going to tell the other team, we're not going to get beat by your fastball. We're going to take him away. You're going to have to prove that you've got other guys that can catch the ball. And I kept looking, going, wow, it's still Ward one-on-one. It's still Ward. He's got no help. No help. Now, Ward's a great player. Chase is, in my view, the best wide receiver in football. So if you give me the best wide receiver against the best defensive back in football, unless it's Deion Sanders, I'm taking the wide receiver every time. Every time. And so, Chase killed us. But Jason, please explain to me what they explained to you after the game as to why they can't make an in-game adjustment on that.
Well, there wasn't so much an explanation. It's just more frustration. Like, I approached a couple of the defensive players, and I said, listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but, like, why wouldn't you double Jamar? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And they did on a few plays, but not many. And basically, all the feedback was, that's a very valid question, and I don't have a very good answer for it.
Not good.
Was Stefanski asked?
Yes. And he said, like, they at times tried to take him out, and Jamar made good plays. But you know, I mean, it was the typical Kevin answer that you're going to get in that situation. But Jamar, 15 targets when there was nobody else on the field is inexcusable.
Now,
like, if Belichick would have put 3 guys on Jamar Chase, he would have put 3 on him.
He would have forced someone else to beat him.
Yes.
And now that touchdown, by the way, he was being double teamed.
He was.
It was a perfect throw. Like, there was only one
Chase
spot
didn't
to
even
throw
know it was coming.
Not to the last second.
And Denzel didn't see it either.
Right.
Never saw it until it was by him. It was a great throw.
100% great throw. It was all on the quarterback.
In the fourth quarter, especially third and fourth quarter, they could have gone to Jamar on every play, and it felt like they did.
Yeah.
He was in man coverage, and he knew exactly where he was going. He got to his spots, and
their chemistry is so good.
Oh yeah, and that's not. And listen, I don't think Denzel's had a very good year. That's not on Denzel.
No, he didn't have any help.